Hey everybody, so I am gonna go try to make the silver bars today. It's nice and it's a nice day, but on my way to the warehouse somebody was throwing out this amazing oriental wooden screen. Definitely one of the nicer trash picks I've had. I mean, I got the dumpster at the house and everything. Almost makes me want to go drive around and see what else is out there. It's a three panel screen, all wood. It's just really cool. It's got these peacocks or phoenixes on it. Again, never know what you're gonna find in the trash, but our next stop is the warehouse. I'll take this guy out, and it's just like finding $100 on the curb. All right, I can't believe it's here. Crazy, it just barely fit, so I guess it was meant to be. All right, we'll see how this it is my first time using this furnace. I've never made a silver bar, so it'll be interesting. I had to drive around after finding that because I figured nobody was out here looking, and I just found a Dyson. Looks like the nice thing is they put all the attachments, and the attachments are worth good money. Let's just make sure nobody cut the cord. I think it's there. Let's see. I'm not seeing it. So maybe they cut the cord. But I know the attachments. I know this dust collector. Just pieced out this vacuum cleaner. Yeah, here. See, somebody drove by, cut the cord off of a $20, $30 vacuum cleaner at the flea market. But online, I'd say this is about a $50 part out. But it's a shame they cut the cord. Maybe I'll just take the and this and leave the rest, because the arm here has a little break. Makes it hard to sell, but definitely we'll be able to sell these. All right, just ahead of the trash man. So made it to the warehouse. I guess the first thing I have to do is open up the furnace. Actually kind of interested to see what I need to use it. I think all the parts, like the tongs and everything, come with it. This is the furnace I got. 2 kilo. It says for gold melting, but we're going to use it for silver, and but it comes with a graphite crucible. This is what will pull the crucible out of the furnace. It's actually got some decent tension, but this is probably the crucible itself. Let's make sure it's not broken before we start. It looks pretty good. It's definitely, you could fit a lot of silver, or imagine if that was all gold. Fill that up. But so basically this will inset into that thing right there, and then these go right like that. You kind of want to have the pourer part, and we'll be able to pour it right in. All right, I'm going to get this all set up. I was just worried about the crucible. If that was cracked, we wouldn't have been able to do anything today. So, all right, see you as soon as I get this set up. So I have it kind of set up, set for 1100 degrees, but I don't know if we need all that for the silver. Might be able to lower it just a little. I put the crucible in there. It's got a fire brick or ceramic inside. Let's see. Doesn't feel like it's wanting to shut though. Why is that? There we go. So it has a little give. Just have to push back on the handle in it. So the next step is I'm going to weigh out. This is the scrap silver I've picked for this. I got a lot of broken chains. This is actually pretty good for the beads. I might save that to list. The one thing I'm going to check everything for, see if it's magnetic. Don't want to put any steel into these bricks or into these bars. I think I'm going to go for, if I can get 500 grams for, I guess, the first melt will be pretty good. That one's actually maybe sellable. I'll put that aside too. There's a lot of, I always seem to find little pieces of silver while I'm picking, so it's one of those things. You could always get more. Let's see how much this one weighs. 300. I'm gonna have to take that bag off. And I'll check everything, make sure we don't have make sure I don't have any what's it called, steel in these clasps. There tends to be a little steel clamp that looks like 500, but after I take that bag off, it's going to be less. $4.95. I think I have something in my pocket. I have this little baggie here. I have to thank everybody for checking out my eBay. Definitely is really cool how well the stuff I put on there does. So thank you very much for bidding. Oh, I think that's 505. All right, I got to take off one little piece. Maybe this. There we go, 500. So we'll see after I pour the bars, see if we still end up with 500 grams. I'm gonna put all the silver back and load up that crucible. All right. So after going through all this with a magnet, I found all the clasps were magnetic, so I took those off and I had to add a couple little pieces to get back to 500 grams. But I think it's time to try to see if this will heat up. I think it's on right now. It's going to take it's at 7 degrees right now, so it's going to take probably 15 minutes for this to heat up. And until then, we'll wait to start putting the silver in. I wonder if everything's going to fit. It'd be interesting. Really going up, but it is going to take about 10-15 minutes for it to hit 1100 degrees. I figure why it's still cool and I don't need gloves, I'm going to try to fill up the crucible with the little bits of silver I have. It'll be interesting how much of it I can fit in while it's still cool. I have a good pair of pliers and stuff to add more, but just seemed like the thing to do. I don't think we're going to be able to fit much more in. It's to 79 degrees right now, so sorry about how dark it is today. I fit in 315 grams into the furnace right now. We'll see how long that takes to get the temperature. So the next thing I got is the borax. I'm going to add that once this hits temperature. We're still at almost 200 degrees. I have my safety glasses. I'm going to put those on now. And I have gloves for when it gets hot. I did buy the furnace from eBay, so you never know what. I mean, it looks like it's working, so I'm kind of excited to see if this actually works. There's one other thing. My friend who was pouring ingots the one time, you always want to preheat these molds. I have a little torch to do that before you pour, because he actually poured 1 ounce. He was trying to pour a 1 ounce gold bar, and when it hit the cold graphite, it turned into little beads and went all over his room. He was able to recover, I think it was 95% of it, but he still lost 5%, and it took him about an hour to 2 hours to find all the little gold beads that went everywhere. So I'm going to preheat the molds, and hopefully we can fit the last 185 grams into the crucible. Still have probably 20 minutes. So it's at 426. The one interesting thing about this is it makes hardly any noise at all. I haven't heard really even a motor turn on yet. I did put on my leather, I guess it's overalls, or not overalls, apron or whatever, to keep it safe. Hopefully this does pretty good. I got this at the flea market. I actually pick up mostly everything I got for the experiment came from the flea market or eBay. So even found the borax at the market the one day. I'm not sure how much I should use for this. I know it's just to burn off a little bit of the, probably just go with a half a teaspoon. So it's at 622 degrees right now, 623. I moved the scale over so that way I don't melt that, and it's going to be getting pretty close to where this silver starts to melt down. I think it starts at like 750, if I remember. Let me get a flashlight in there so that way you guys can see what it looks like. It's no smoke or anything. It's just real quiet. It's very nice. All right, 635. So it's at 758. Without having gloves on, I could feel the heat coming off of the side. It almost feels like baking cookies. And nothing's melting yet. I But it's definitely working. We got probably another couple hundred degrees to go. So we're at 814 degrees, 15 degrees, but it's now, you can see the red all the way down at the bottom of that. And the silver's turned like a matte color. So it definitely is getting really close to melting. All right. We're almost at 900 degrees, 899. Still no real sounds or anything from the 900. Be interesting what the silver looks like. It is red, red, red hot. Look at that. Definitely, I'm surprised it hasn't melted yet. But it's definitely on its way. Be very interesting what it comes out as. I'm actually kind of excited to have a nice size silver bar or ingot. I know the smaller ones will remelt down, but I might actually save the bigger one, just because it's kind of fun. I still have all the silver plate silver to melt. I might do that tomorrow, but I will definitely show you. I'm probably actually going to use that to make this right here in another video. So if you guys would like to see me cast my first item, I did get some casting sand in. Please leave me a message. I'm gonna put, just because these flakes will blow, I keep this copper top on it. This is some brass that an artist made. I just kind of like the way the drips look. I sure hope it's not gold, but I'm pretty sure it's brass. It went up 9 degrees since then. All right, we'll see how it goes. It's definitely kind of fun. So I just opened it back up and it looks like it fell all the way down. So we definitely have some molten silver all the way down at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that down there. It's probably down here. We'll take this fork, and it's almost the height of the fork. So definitely pretty cool. I might have to cut the fork in half to fit that in. I'm gonna add the rest of these little pieces though. Just let me put on a pair of gloves. Just to make it so it continues to melt, and then we don't have to wait as long for everything to fit in. Figured I could just pour it right in most of the pieces. And look at that little flame. That's kind of cool. I think that's, grab these pliers. You can see it just kind of all fits right in, hopefully. Actually, I have to take off that jump ring. It has one piece of steel in it. Definitely let out a lot of the heat. So I just have that in the fork. Didn't really lose too much heat. It's 908 still, the temperature. it's definitely melting down really fast. So right at 900 degrees, the silver definitely turns liquid. I'm going to put the fork right in top and see if it will. It's kind of cool. Slowly melting. Doesn't have the residual heat is not actually that bad, but you can kind of see the bright orange all the way at the bottom. Grab my little pair of pliers. Once we move that fork, it should go right down in. Now it's ready to shut. I'm going to add my little bit of borax, because I would say once we hit 1100 degrees, everything will be fairly well melted. I'm just going to add 1/2 teaspoon of borax. And we will see what happens. Just went up to 910 degrees. It stayed at 9 when I added the new silver. It stayed at 909 for a while, but everything looks pretty flat. I'm gonna give it another. I'll probably pull it out right at 1,000 degrees, and I'm now going to heat up my my molds. Move the borax so we don't melt that. There's nothing really flammable on my table right now. And I do have this little bucket of water for putting the ingot in after we're done. So I'm gonna start heating up the mold. So I have the torch, and I'm gonna probably heat this for about four minutes or so, just because everything's really cold. I am working outside. Definitely will take a minute to heat up. The temperature right now is 926 on the furnace, so hopefully hopefully this is enough time to heat it up. So down there it definitely looks like hot lava. I can definitely see that the silver is molten, and I have the molds heated, so I'm gonna put you guys in my little thing. Hopefully you can see. Pulling out the crucible. It is bright red hot. Hopefully this works out. Oops, a little bit too much. Not quite what I was hoping for. For first pour, it wasn't awful, but you can see I definitely poured it a little too fast, and let's see, turn it over. I might have to let it cool for a minute. I have this pair here, it's a little bit better. It's a blacksmith tong. And it definitely kind of gooped up. What I'm going to do is stick it back into the crucible and see if I can get it to go one more time. Might not have had it at the right amount of heat, and I'm thinking it's probably just enough for the big bar. If I let it if I let it get to 1100 degrees, it might work. But first attempt, at least it made it back in, and we are these actually work pretty well for turning it over. All right, they're probably from like 1910, 1920. I got those at the flea market also. So I'm gonna go for attempt number 2, shutting off my gas right now. I'm just gonna try to do the one larger ingot. I think that's gonna fit the 5 pound or 500 grams. It definitely looks a lot better, more molten now. So let's see, we just have to arrange this to where we have a good angle to pick up, and hopefully this works. Let's see how red it is. And it's definitely hot. Looks like there's still a little bit of slag in there, but it's definitely better than last time. I just can't decide if it doesn't look like all 500 grams are in the mold. I think I'll stick it back in one more time. Try starting to look a lot better. Definitely held up as one solid ingot. Fit right back in. I just have that little piece right there. All right, attempt number 2. Just have to, I think when I'm pouring, I have to do it more steady. It's just, I don't know, or maybe I just don't have it hot enough yet. All right, hopefully it works this time. Just heated the mold. Definitely is pretty cool. All right, something's up. Blah. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know why it did that. Of course, I had to have an epic fail once I was but I figured I'd show you guys how this works, and I haven't quite figured it out yet. You can see my little bit of slag. Oh, my bar, or my, I don't know why that didn't melt in. At least I got the right size crucible, or not crucible, right size ingot molds, because I'm able to easily put the pieces back in, and seems to be working pretty good. Just have to figure out why I haven't been able to pour a steady pour. All right, I'll do attempt number 4 coming up. So I'm at 954 degrees. I believe that's the hottest that it's been today, 955. It only goes to 1150 degrees, the kiln, but it seems to be on a picking up temperature pretty good right now. I just turned off my my torch, so my mold's pretty hot, but I'm just got the call to come home for dinner, so I'm gonna try to make this work right here. See if it keeps on creeping up. 964. We'll look in here, see what it looks like, and try to get this poured out pretty fast. Oh man, it's bubbling now, so it definitely looks good. I don't know if you guys can see that. Here we go. Pull that out. Almost. But the bar itself looks pretty darn good. I didn't get all the silver out though. There's probably 10-15 grams sitting right there in that little piece right there. But the bar itself, now this will be my first bar I've ever poured. I guess this is a 2-pound mold. Definitely looks pretty cool. Put it to the edge and bring it over to the water. Let it definitely looks like a little ingot. You can see I kind of broke my stream of pouring with those lines, but this part on that side looks pretty darn good. I think with a little bit more practice, I should have this figured out. I bet it's cool enough to pick up. I'll put this little piece in too, so that way we can weigh all the silver, see how much we ended up with. Definitely has a nice feel to it. It's got probably has pretty close to these little pieces right here from that. I'm gonna bring over my scale and we'll weigh this up, see what we're at. I did find this scale at a house clean out, so but it has been working pretty well for so the oddball pieces are 10 grams. Oops. 10 grams, and I'm kind of interested to see what the bar turns out to be. 495, so somewhere I lost 5 grams. It might still be in the crucible. I'll have to look after it cools down, but definitely that makes the bar 480 grams. It's just over a pound by about an ounce, a troy ounce, so definitely cool. I don't know if I'll remelt that. I might actually keep it as my first bar, and because I have a nice place to stamp it right there. All right, thank you guys very, very much for watching. I'll catch everybody next video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. We are going to get to the flea market tomorrow. It's going to be a nice day. So see everybody later. Peace. So I did have fun doing this. I don't know. If you guys did like it, please leave me a comment and tell me if I should do more things like this. I am very interested in making some cool jewelry, so hopefully it works out. First experiment.